Let's think about a brick wall in real life. It has a brick core, a inner wall finish and outer wall finish. So how do we create such a wall in Revit? Let's see in detail. I am going to now edit this wall so that it has two different interior and exterior wall finish. Let's select the wall and in the Properties tab click on the Edit Type button. This opens the Type Properties window and we can click on the Edit button in the Structure box. This opens the Edit Assembly window. Here we can see the layers and the functions, materials and thickness column. We can create a new layer by clicking on the Insert button. The function column helps us to choose the function of the layer. It has 5 different options: Structure, Substrate, Thermal, Air Layer, Finish 1, Finish 2. Since we are editing a wall, I have selected Structure and Finish functions. Now we can click on the material and open the material browser. We can also use the search bar in the material browser to find the material we need. Since we have already created some materials, I am selecting beige paint material for inner finish and brick material for the center structure. In the Appearance tab of the brick material we can see that specific color and hatches are assigned. This affects how the material is represented in plan and section view and in sheets. The outer finish already has tile cladding material applied. We can edit the thickness of the different layers by using the Thickness column. Since this is a 9-inch wall, we can assign 8 inches to the inner brick core and ½ inch each to the inner and outer finishes. By clicking on the Preview button we can see how the wall layers we created appears in plan. Here we can see how the color and hatch given for the brick material is seen in plan view. We can also see how this wall appears in section. We can also use the navigation buttons within this preview window to zoom and view the preview of the plan and section views. Now let us apply the changes to the wall and see how it looks. We see that what I wanted as interior has become the exterior layer. We can correct this in the Edit Assembly tab. Let's open the Edit Assembly tab. In it, by selecting the layer to be modified and then using the up and down buttons, we can move the layers into different positions. I have now changed the position of the 2 finish layers. Now we can apply this to the wall and see if the changes are correct. We can see that now the exterior finish has been applied properly. We saw the different ways in which materials can be created and edited. We also learned how materials can be applied to walls. Now, let us see how materials can be applied to other elements and components. Consider this floor slab. To change its material, select the slab and then click on the Edit Type button in the Properties tab. This opens the Type Properties dialog. In the Structure box, click on the Edit button. This opens the Type Assembly dialog. In it we can see options similar to that of editing a material for a wall. We can see that already a paving material has been applied. By clicking the material icon, the material browser window is opened. We can change the material properties if needed. I am keeping the paving material as such for now. Let us look at another component, which is the railing. To edit the materials of the railing, select the railing and then click on the Edit Type button in the Properties tab. This opens the Type Properties dialog box. In it we can see some parameters and values. In the Construction parameter, click on the Edit button next to the rail structure. This opens the Edit Rail dialog. It has different options to edit the railing, including height, profile and materials. By clicking the Material box, the Material browser opens and we can change the material for different parts of the railing. I am choosing two different steel materials for the horizontal and vertical elements of the handrail. Now these different materials have been applied to the railing. Another type of most used component is the door and window. Let us see the way of applying materials to different elements in a window. This is a window which I have modeled using component modeling. Since the window is also a component, it can be edited by using the Edit Family option. Select the window and then click on the Edit Family button. The Windows Family file opens and in it we can see the 3D model of the window. We can use different plan and 3D views to select the element for which we want to change the material. After selecting the element, if we see the Property tab, we can see that the material assigned to the element displayed. By moving the mouse to the material row and clicking on the small square icon in the materials box, the material browser can be opened and different materials can be assigned. We can see that this file already has wood, glass and steel materials applied to the different elements. If you are editing a system family, save the changes with a different file name and load the family into your project. Since I have not made any changes, I am just closing this file. Using the same method, materials can be applied to a door too. We saw different methods of applying materials to different elements and components in Revit architecture. Although the material browser is the same, the way of applying the materials differs slightly for different elements. But through following similar steps using the Properties tab, we can edit the material for any element within Revit architecture.